Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. So welcome to another episode of Brand Lover. I'm introducing you to someone very special. She's a lady who is one of my past clients and a member in the Branding Hub. We've worked together intimately to overhaul her brand. We were just discussing whether, I think it was roughly about a year ago. And I mean, even at the time of working with her, I found her story incredibly inspiring. And so I really want to be able to share that with you and share, her heart and, even just the way that she's been able to build this incredible business around her family. So come on down, Mel Haque from Wild Dough. I'm very excited to have you as a guest. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you're so welcome. And that was, I feel like woman fuzzies inside. That was such a nice intro. Thank you.
That's good. I'm all about the warm, fuzzy feeling.
Oh, I love it.
So tell us a little bit about you, for those that might not know who you are or, know Wild Dough. So who are you? Who's Mel? And, what do you do and why and all that fun stuff? Tell us just a brief bio.
Oh, I would love to. So obviously I'm Mel. I'm a mum. I'll start with that. Yes. I've got two littles. My eldest is 6 and my youngest is 3.5. And I mean, there's just 2 of them, but eldest and youngest. Makes it sound like I've got a whole tribe out there, but and a dog, let's count her too.
Absolutely. Mine's, I don't know, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see like this brown shape behind me.
I did not even notice, but yes, I can see. So yeah, and I'm a corporate marketer. So I feel like I'm a marketer by day almost. And my whole career and even what I studied, I've always really lent into the whole marketing side. I love sales. I love the idea of, what it looks, how it feels, what you can make people feel, and the customer side. So that's kind of me from, I guess, a career point of view. And I've worked my whole career in strategic marketing. And other than that, now I've also got this beautiful company, Wild Dough, which is just turned 3. Like 2 days.
That blows me away.
2 days ago.
It's only 3.
Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So I launched in September in 2018. And we're just so busy right this second. I haven't even told everyone we're just having our birthday and we're celebrating. So I will in probably a week when I have a second to breathe and get there. But
yeah,
we make Play-Doh here in Melbourne, Australia, and it's the most beautiful product, Wild Dough, the namesake of our brand. It's super soft, it's scented, it's really long lasting, it's made completely with no nasties. And the piece which I love most about it is handmade here, like I said, in Melbourne by a team of mums. Yeah. So the thing I love most about it as, a business and a product is that it's actually something that came from within me in terms of when I had my second child, I just did not have, I'm not a super mom. I can't do all the things I know some people out there can and Instagram or whatnot, but that's not me. And I struggled so hard. And Play-Doh was the one thing that my 2.5-year-old at the time would actually sit there and kind of play with by herself. But the thing was, it was so stiff, the Play-Doh that we could buy, that she actually couldn't roll it out for herself. So I desperately needed another set of hands, and I decided one day that, I'm just going to try and start creating my own. Surely I can make this softer than it is, and surely I can make it last longer. I was so tired of it never being the same from the day I opened it the first time. So I actually started playing with the recipe myself and found that it was actually, it was phenomenal. I'd come up with this product that not only was, so soft that I didn't have to sit there and, actually sit with my daughter to roll it out with her. She would happily independently play for like an hour, which is unheard of at that age. And it would also just last. It lasted for what it felt like for forever. Yeah. And what it actually did for me as a mum was it allowed me to then have 2 hands that I could sit there and I could nurse my newborn. I could get him to sleep. I could do the things I needed to do. He was a really hard basket child. My first child did not prepare me for him. Damn it. I think she's still not. I think he's going to be the rule breaker our whole lives. So
they say that if you had your second child first, then you wouldn't have had any more children. Isn't that like something that they say?
Very good chance that might have happened in my house. But hey, I would have created Wild Doe if that was the case. So
wow, exactly.
It really was the point that it really gave me that set of hands and let me have a bit of space back as a mum. And what I kind of went from that, I still was working full time as a corporate marketer and mumming and everything else. And my parents are entrepreneurs and serial entrepreneurs.
Oh, are they?
To have your own business. And it is like, yourself, it is bloody tough running your own. It's not as glamorous and as exciting as it looks from the outside.
No.
It's something that I
never on Instagram, I find that.
Absolutely. It's never something I really thought that I wanted to do because I knew what the other side was like.
Yeah.
When I kind of created Wild Doe, I thought, you know what? Yeah, it's a product for the kids, but in my mind, it's all about the mums. Like I needed to sell it because I desperately wanted to give other mums out there that little bit of, a breath that it gave me, that extra set of hands or a bit of mind, like just that if it can kind of help another mum like it helped me, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I decided then and there, you know what, I'm going to have a crack. I'm going to see if I can sell this product. Maybe it can help somebody else out. And I did it all myself. I didn't even tell my husband. I was so terrified of starting this business. I don't think I've told you this.
I didn't know that you hadn't told your husband. No.
I was so petrified. I actually was looking for it this week, to be honest, because I was like, that's a memory I really should try and keep. I had like black moleskin notepad and I was working on my recipe in this book and all of my plans in this book. I built my whole marketing strategy and did my products, everything in this like little black notebook. And I would carry it around all day and all night and I'd be doing stuff in this book. And my husband knows me so well that he knows like when I'm ready to share, I share. Like he's not a prior and like I share when I'm ready sort of thing. So he wasn't like hassling me to be like, what the hell are you doing? And I had all these like little packets of Play-Doh around and different scents and colors and everything. But he wasn't even just like, what's going on? And then I didn't tell my parents either, who are like so close to me and have been such a big part of my business now. But I literally did it all, got the photos, started the Instagram, built the store, created the awareness. And the night I launched and I like started seeing sales coming in, I suddenly was like, okay, everybody, go check it out. They're like, what's this? And I'm like, this is my new business.
This is just something I whipped up.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't quite like I'd been working on it for months, but so scared of so scared of out there. And, I'm a corporate marketer. So this is so left field, something like, and I was like, am I going to be like the Play-Doh lady? Like what am I trying to do here? Yeah. That I didn't tell anybody. And I know now that was the most ridiculous thing in the whole world. And I've certainly grown from that mindset now, but
I think that's such a common thing though, that, and especially, like once you tell somebody, all of a sudden it's real. That makes it a reality. I mean, and that's actually a tool and a way to make yourself accountable. But, you sort of did it the opposite way where you're like, okay.
It was a side hustle, right? So it technically like it was okay, if it failed maybe. Like it would never have been okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have felt
like our whole, our income was relying on it or anything. It was just a bit of a thing that I just felt strongly I wanted to share with others. And I thought I'll give it a go, but I didn't know if anyone was going to buy it. I sold so much in that first month and 2 months and 3 months. And it was so ridiculous.
So amazing.
I just can't believe now that I was just so scared of the idea of what it might have been at the start.
But that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like why entrepreneurship is so scary, because you can do all the market research in the world and craft a product and invest in, in product development and everything, but you never really know how it's going to fly. You know what I mean? Like you never know until you try. And, like I think that's such a huge thing to actually just start, to just get it out there and try. But also, it's so handy that you do have that marketing background, because, like 90% of business is marketing. So Yeah. So at the time, so you were a mum at the time, and then were you working part-time as well?
No, so I was on maternity leave when I launched Wild.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was still on mat leave. So I think my son was only 2 months old or so.
Amazing.
Like quite a chunk of time I was going to be home. But I ended up going back to work when he was 9 months old. I did this and I went back full time.
Wow.
This time I not only went back full time and juggling 2 children, and I was juggling my new business baby as well. It's been quite the struggle juggle, but you know, it's I'm kind of doing it my own way in terms of stepping back from one, moving into another, and taking a bit of time, but you know, I'm certainly getting there, and doing it myself, I guess. I mean, from day one, everyone's like, "When are you quitting your job?" And I've kind of always thought that, you know, I love my job, like my corporate job, let's call it. Like I've got plenty of them, but I love it. Like I get so much from it, and like I love waking up and working there every day. So it's never like a means to an ends of kind of getting myself out of something I'm not happy in to go into another. I'm so lucky that all the things I do I love so much that I'm having trouble going more into one than another almost. So like it's a really beautiful place to be. But
I love that. I love that, because even, you know, like in this whole business culture, I guess, or, you know, mumpreneur culture, it seems to just be this drive, expectation that at some point you'll either give up your day job or, you know, that corporate career in favor of having like a home business or whatever. And
it's a lot of it's family driven for a lot of people, which is totally get that. It's lovely, but
and you know, like, and that's my story, absolutely. But I love that you just, you know, you just following your own path and your own path of like fulfillment for you and what works for you and your family, and to have built this incredible award-winning business with a young family and, you know, a passionate career. Like, I just like, that just makes me speechless and a little bit tired just thinking about it.
Oh yeah, these I did this week as well, and another year on, and I swear I'm not actually that old, and the bags and wrinkles are like
beautiful. You look happy.
Oh, well, look, I'll take that any day. My 6-year-old tells me, you know, when I get a flick of makeup on, which, you know, I'm in Melbourne, so lockdown life is very real for us these days.
Yeah.
She's like, "Wow, Mum, look at you. What have you done?" I'm like, "It's makeup, babe." You know, like she doesn't see it, and she's like, "You not only look beautiful, you look younger." And I'm just like, a compliment that tears your heart out. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I guess, you know, like, it's because you have grown so much in such a short period of time. Like, I do remember the brand out when we were discussing your brand, and part of that is, you know, we were sort of looking into the future, because part of the branding process is that ensuring the longevity of how we're communicating your brand and making sure that we are sort of, positioning the brand in the hearts and minds of people in a way that you want it to be perceived in the future, not like, you know, now or yesterday. And part of that was, I remember we were discussing that, like, you know, you were still operating out of home. I don't even think you had a warehouse yet.
No.
And, you know, one of those goals was to break into the US market. And I was like, at the time, I was just like,
what is she thinking?
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. You know, like, she's got all these incredible lofty goals. And I was so excited. Like, you know, like, you're just like, your energy and is so inspiring, and, you know, like, it just rubs off. And so anyway, so you've done that.
Yes, we have done that.
That's incredible. And you have multiple, pardon?
And in the middle of COVID lockdown.
During the pandemic, and you have multiple warehouses now?
We have here in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we're also warehousing in the US too. So we did it.
Well, tell me a little bit about how that worked, you know, like how you sort of shifted from being operating out of home, and what that growth has looked like, and, just I guess the process and struggles, setbacks that you've had to overcome.
Yeah. So it was actually really difficult. So last year, so I think we started talking kind of early last year, you and I, redo my brand. Maybe, I don't know, I think we were booked in around March, and you kind of sent the timeline to us, and we had, you normally have so long that you do these things, and I dragged us out. So much going on over here. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember, and we didn't end up finishing till like 5 months later, but that was all because it was like sitting on my desk for so long for us, because at the time,
I do now.
The pandemic really started to lock us down here in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And at that time, being a home-based business, what it meant for me was I wasn't allowed to have anyone at my house where the business was run out of. We already had such a demand that, and home-based, it wasn't out of my home kitchen. We have like a purpose-built like room on our house.
Yes.
Room.
Yes.
And that's where everything happened essentially. But we couldn't have people at home anymore. So, and even at that point, the business was much bigger than just what I could make and supply. So some staff, and it was a pretty crazy time, because all of a sudden it kind of went back to just me. Kids were at home. There was so much chaos happening, and I couldn't do it. Like, I could only make so much. I could only spend so much time actually kind of packing and doing it all. So at that point in time, we almost ended up being like we were basically couldn't supply for nearly 4 months last year. So it kind of like just crashed to a halt. And I think I remember Skip saying to you like, oh, we're getting there. But it was a really tough time to keep like all these lofty goals that I like shared with you at the start. And then like, well, USA is not happening. Nothing's happening. I can't even make any dough. Like, it was such a hard time to then be like, let's keep building this brand that we've been.
Yes. And to keep having that commitment to it. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know what's going on. And then it was in August. So only just over a year ago now, Melbourne was in that crazy 4-month long hectic time.
Yes.
I was like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Like, there's such a demand for my product out there. I just wasn't able to supply. And it was almost like I kept thinking to myself, like, either just do it. Like, it was like, get in or get out of the boat, but just make a decision. Like, stop just hanging around waiting for something. Because, at that point in time, we were all thinking like 2021 would be the savior.
Yeah.
The rest of us, like, maybe next year, who even knows now? Like,
that's true.
Nothing like what we're thinking then. So I kind of just decided, you know what, bugger it. Like, my product is amazing. I know it is. My customers tell me it is. I am so confident in it, which, I really had to step back and remind myself, because I had forgotten. I feel like during that time, I forgot like what I was doing, and I was there. And I kind of one day just said, you know what, it is amazing. People want my product. I love it. I know it's great. It works for me and my family. Like, nothing has changed. What is that I can't make it and I can't supply it because we don't have we can't do the volume. So I was like, okay, like how do I fix this? And fixing that situation for me was really about getting a premises and some staff, and having a place where I could get people back working for me as well. And that meant a warehouse. So I kind of like had this big like change in mindset one night, and my mum and dad and my husband are like my biggest cheer squad. And I had this idea, I get a warehouse, and it's going to be lots more costs involved, but to get more, to like equal it out, I need to expand, and I can do it. I can, like, people, like, it's not that the supply's not there. Like, I can do it. I need to make this many sales, which I need this stuff, and I need to like do this. And what do you think? What if I fail? What happens if I fail? Like, this is more costs. And I like ring them up with these questions, and they were just like, Mum and Dad, like, do it. And I was like, what if I fail? And they're just like, you're not going to fail.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's going to be costing me this if I fail. And it's just such a hard thing sometimes. I was so lucky that I have like, such great people in my corner constantly cheering me on, and not just my family, like in my community, and just like Wildo and everything. And so I did it. So I had, within a week, I had a warehouse. I didn't even see it because we were down, signed the contract. I was going to be in 3 weeks. I rang up like my best friends who had been we worked in the beauty industry, so she had like a tough time as well, and said, here's what I'm doing, come and like run it with me and work with me, and like started working on her to be like, come and do it, who was just amazing. So I felt like there's no way I was going to be able to do it if I didn't have like a good right hand gal.
Yeah.
And I just kind of within the week made it all happen. And within like 3 weeks after that, we'd moved in, and then we had like a whole team of people in here and ran our first production run ready to like ship to the US. We sent a whole pallet, like we had like 4,000 jars just straight on a pallet and straight into the US, and we launched there, and Christmas happened, and it's just
like, how does that even work? Like, how do you like,
it's so hard, and there are so many late nights is what it is, because
there's a lot of
not on any other time zone. And so I have so many meetings at 3 a.m, at 1 a.m,
wow,
11 p.m, like all these stupid time meetings all the time. But you know, I have a lot of wine and a lot of coffee that's fueling me all the time. So, but yeah, I made some calls, spoke to some people, and you know, found some warehouse that would be able to use my product to fulfill. And they were so, you know, it's something we hadn't done before. So we weren't, and again, we make our product here, so it's not quite the easy rigor that's coming straight off a production line in China or something. It's already done and met, you know, we need the right cartons, we need the right labeling, we need all the pieces that go into it. So you know, and at that time also we had like an Australia-wide flour shortage because of all the pandemic buying and all the craziness that's been going on.
Oh my gosh.
You know, for anyone out there who doesn't know the main ingredient in Play-Doh, it is flour. So we just had so many challenges, but they're all things that I kind of couldn't fix myself, like in terms of like, I can't do anything about not getting flour. I can't do anything about this lockdown, you know? So I really just kind of thought to myself, like, what can I fix and what can I do? And it took me ages, to be honest, but I kind of got myself the mindset to be able to just go, okay, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Here's an option for you. Either do it or don't. Like, you know what, we're doing it. And we did it. And last year was like nuts. And this year's been like great. And we actually just downstairs there, like I'm sitting up here in the mezzanine, and we've got like all of our new collections of all of our dough that we're going to be releasing shortly. Like, it's just so exciting, man. Because we came into the US so kind of late last year, we didn't do anything special just for them. And so you've got this beautiful new fall collection, and it seems so crazy because it's like spring and beautiful.
Yes.
But we've got like these beautiful spice scents, and all there's like so many great things that we're kind of be able to tailor now for the different like countries. And yeah, it's so exciting, and it's been mammoth. And,
it sure has.
I feel like I wouldn't change it either. Like it is, I just knew that, you know, if I didn't take a chance, I'd regret it. That's what I knew at the end of the day. And I just thought, like, do you want to regret that or not? And I just went, nah. I believe so much in this that I give it a crack. And if it didn't work out, then I feel like I was going to be able to live with that as well.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because that's the thing, like, that it always comes down to, and I'm a little bit the same, like I'll have things rolling around and ideas and whatever, and then I'll just get sick of myself, and I'll be like, either you do it or you just pack up and go home. And so like, this is kind of, well, this podcast is an example of that. I've been thinking about it for months and months, and I just got so sick of myself that I was just like, let's just do this thing. And I know that, you know, is slightly different to like hiring lots of people and breaking into the US market with the product, and, you know, like, it's totally, but I can relate to that. I think a lot of people can. And, you know, like, there's that whole fear thing. You can either like let it hold you back, or you can sort of analyze it, you know, like you sort of like, I don't know, for me, I sort of step outside of myself and go, okay, so why are you feeling like this? And so what if you fail? Like, that's like, you know, I always talk to my husband, as you know, he's a big supporter of mine as well. And he's like, I'm like, what if it doesn't work? What if no one buys it? And he goes, so what? No one will know.
Try something new. It's so true.
No one will even know or care. It's going to be you. You might have a bit of a bruised ego, but then you get back on the bandwagon, you find a way that does work. And, you know, like, that's really all it comes down to. And so many people let those thoughts and fears hold them back from so much potential. And I love that about you, is that you see the potential and you just went for it. And, you know, something also that you said earlier which was something that I loved about working with you, is that like, it wasn't about, like, it's not about the product, it's about serving mothers, you know, like it's about your heart for, you know, giving them that time so that they can, you know, like have a cup of tea or something, you know, like occupy their children in a safe, fun way. And, you know, that you're like facilitating learning and all that sort of stuff, that they don't like, it's not just turning on play school.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I
100%.
just,
Oh no, I agree. Do you know, I've got a really good friend, and she always she, like, her mantra is that there's no such thing as failure. There's either she says there's either a lesson or success.
yes.
So never necessarily fail. If something doesn't go the way you want, then you learn something out of it. And it is, I always try and remind myself of that, and it's so true. And even if, you know, even if it's a smaller thing, like a collection doesn't sell the way you wanted to sell, well, you learn something about it, right? So
yeah,
it's so hard. It's so easy to say, but so hard to do.
That's so true. And it, you know, I don't know, if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it, right?
Right, absolutely.
So, you know, that's the difference. Okay, so I want to know what else is going on, because I just, like, I was having a sneaky peek of your website before, and I noticed a membership as well.
So we have
a membership as well.
Well, we have a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Wild Dough we do.
Amazing.
So we have this, we've called it the Exclusive Dough Club.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's a dough subscription. So people can sign up. It's pretty cheap, and it's got free shipping every month. And it's really just about, we're like so creative here and always making these like crazy things. And then we think to ourselves, oh, it's not really something we, you know, that we can easily just mass sell, because they're all different. And we already have something like 25 colors, maybe soon 30 colors in our collection. Like, we have so much always available that just, you know, we can't just keep adding.
Yeah.
So the Dough Club the Exclusive Dough Club is really about, like, it's a fun creative outlet for us, and it's something fun for our customers to receive. So we actually, our subscription dough is really dough that we don't sell on our site, and we don't sell to anybody else. It's something like fun and exciting that we just create for our subscribers, and they get it each month. And we do things like, well, this month we're doing like this chameleon inspired dough. So it's like bright green and blue and dark green and this beautiful swirl. And like, we just do like different fun things each time, different sorts of swirls or color mixes, or we'll mix a color that we would probably never sell normally, or have like black and white zebra, or different things as well, which is just, it's just really fun, I think, for our customers to kind of receive it each month and not know what it's going to be, or it's something different as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sort of retention strategy too. Like, you know, a really lovely reminder, I guess, of that, you know, that you were there, you know, like you're visiting them every month, whereas just like purchasing and forgetting. And I love that. But also I just, you know, since going through the rebranding process, like, how was that sort of, did that help to fuel your direction? Or, you know, like, what have you learned from that? Or how has it affected how you do things now? That would, yeah,
absolutely. And I think, like, from that day where I launched this business, I didn't even tell anyone, you know, I just jumped online and I made this my own logo, and I kind of like used a couple of plain colors that might work. And I rang up someone and said, print me some labels. Like, none of it was very professionally done, but I think back to, like, you know, sit around and think about it for ages. Like, done was better than like perfect in that sense. So I got it to a point where I was like, this is great. It looked good. It was nothing necessarily wrong with it. I always envisioned something. I had this idea of what I exactly wanted, and I knew I'd get there one day. I just had to kind of like the right designer and get there. But for the sake of day one, what I did was totally fine. So I think when we started working together, and excuse me, what I would love to share with everybody is that because I had this strong idea of what I wanted in my mind, I can't remember where I think I found you on Instagram. Somebody else, you'd done work with somebody else, and they'd tagged you, and I thought, oh, you know what, that really kind of catches my eye. It was kind of down the lane of what I was imagining. I kind of realized, like, you know, I had looked more of your portfolio and what you did. I really was just like, that is like who I need and what I want. Because I think a really important thing about finding the person that does your brand for you is really that they can do the style you want, or they play in an area. Because I think that, you know, designers and, you know, you're not just a designer, you know, you create it all and the idea behind it, but, you know, you don't just, well, I'm going to say that, you know, one person isn't just everything to everyone. So you've definitely got your lanes and what you do, and you're perfect for the right people as well. And I just thought that straight away. And I remember when I reached out to you, like, oh, Mel, would love to work with you, but you've got like 6 months on your wait list. And I was like, oh my God, it's so long. But at that point, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm so sure that you were the right fit for what I wanted, that I was like, okay, let's. I think I reached out in like a September, and we finally started in March. It was, at the time I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I thought, like, I just was so sure. So that was really,
girl can only do so much.
Well, that's exactly it. But I think that was the case. I had such a strong idea of what I wanted for my brand. And I think what you helped me so much more with was actually kind of all of the ideas of me saying, like, I want to help other mums. My product is for kids, but it's just about, you know, it's about giving mums space. And that's kind of how I feel and how I talk. But I was having so much trouble articulating that as well. And even, you know, be able to articulate that like in words, like on site, in all that copy as well. So I think being able to kind of like pull all that out of me, and, you know, the process itself, I was like, you know, there's so many questions, but like once you start like putting everything together, I was like, oh, I now know why it makes so much sense. Being able to actually, you know, everything I was feeling and thinking, being able to put it down in 4 sentences, I was just like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So what I didn't realize about you was you're not just actually, and what, you know, what you did for me, it wasn't just all about the design. It was more about the heart-centered connection of what I wanted to create with others. And I feel like it was about the words and about how it was articulated, and then how it kind of came back to the colors and how it made people feel. And it was actually all of the, and, you know, considering I have, you know, a career where I work with designers, and I actually never necessarily experienced that level of, you know, realizing that that's what I was going to get, and what it was so eye-opening. And you know, that copy that, and, you know, the way you were able to articulate it for me, like I'm using it now. I'll always use it, because it was such a great way of, you know, what I'm here for, what I'm trying to do. It's, you know, it's really about educating mums and helping them and facilitating, and like all these things, that it's not just, hey, I've got a cool product, go and buy it for your kids.
That's it. That's exactly
it. That's almost like the last piece of the pie. Like that's after everything else, that's where you get it in the end, sort of.
Well, thank you for selling my product for me. That was amazing. Thank you.
You didn't actually ask for anybody, just letting you know.
No, it's so true though. Like, you know, like,
you don't realize that sometimes that like, I had no idea that's what I was going to get, and it was such a package, and it's actually everything I needed in terms of being able to help me start communicating and everything, which was great.
Yeah.
And we just had my labels out there, and the pattern and the style and the color, and I look at it every day, and it just makes me feel so much joy. And I know it makes everyone else feel that as well. So, I mean, like, I am the target as well, but I love that day in, day out. And it's been a year now that we're looking at it day in, day out, and I still just love it. Love everything about it. And I can't see a place where I wouldn't, and I can't see a place where I'm going to change it ever. Like, I feel like, because
that's the thing about
for the global dinner state.
That's the thing about like centering your brand design on the actual core values and mission and, you know, drivers of the brand. And so you really do have to discover those things first and be able to articulate those things. And that fuels, you know, how you're communicating, like, as you mentioned, through your language and even just the graphic design and like the brand identity and that sort of thing. And that's what helps to craft a brand that is going to stand the test of time, rather than, you know, picking a template from Etsy or, you know, whatever's trendy at the time. Is that, you know, like your brand is now fail safe, and it's going to be stronger because of that. And, you know, that just, you know, that that lights me up. So, so that's amazing. And, you know, like, you are such an inspiration to so many. You know, you've been winning awards, you've done so much, you know, there has been so much momentum for you over the past few years. And like, speaking with you is such a privilege for me, because I always look at your Instagram and see what you're up to, and I'm just like, holy moly, like, I'm just like, oh, Mel, she's killing it. Like, I'm always just like cheering you on in the comments. I get so excited for you. So what's next? Like, what have you got next for Wild Dough? I don't know what's coming.
I know, it's pretty nuts. I think and you know, I feel like I say it all the time, and I'm just like, I feel like what I'm doing is like nothing special, and what I know is nothing special. And I sit there and be like, oh my God, like I know so much. And then I look at other people and businesses and everything, and I was like, just 5 minutes and I could help you. Like,
yeah.
I often, like, I kind of have been coming back to my, you know, what's next to Wild Dough is just like, we're just going to keep on keeping on. And what we do in the US, we'll do in the next continent, the next, like, I don't know,
scaling, growing. Like, yeah.
We're not stopping, and, you know, we've got amazing things going, plans, and we're just going to keep moving. But I love that there's so much kind of, like, we can just keep replicating what we're doing and take it to new countries and continents. And we're getting so much like, you know, can I get it here? And I'd love to be everything for everyone, but, you know, that we can't supply ever at the moment, because we do have, like, you know, there's shelf life on the products. So we just, we play in the places where we know we can do it so well. So we're going to kind of just slowly roll out to all the next ones. So that's super exciting for Wild Dough. But I think also, like, I'm now on the journey of kind of more like me as Mel, which I'm not just Wild Dough. You know, I've got like so much other experience and do things, and, you know, what do I want to do with that? So I think I've just started recognizing that all this experience and learns from Wild Dough. And you know what? You have to make so many mistakes to figure it out. You just, and people say to me all the time, and I don't realize I know these things, because you have to fail so many times and make so many mistakes to figure it out for yourself. And then, you know, and I just wish there was, like, you know, some kind of manual for business owners out there. Like, I bet you wish there was one too. Mm-hmm. There's not. And I think that I'm really privileged in the fact that we've been able to make so much headway in the handmade product space here in Australia too. So I think come next year after Christmas, I'm looking for a little bit of downtime, hopefully from Wild Dough, once we survive the Christmas crazy.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to spend some time and really step back into kind of, you know, who I am and what I want to do. And I really want to kind of start supporting other handmade business mums out there. And, you know, what's it about, you know, how to start, how to do it well.
Wow.
You know, how can I share that you don't make all of these mistakes along the way like I've made, you know, help get you back up. And, you know, I think I got a little bit lost in I'm just Wild Dough for a while there, and I've started that I've got so much more, and Wild Dough is successful because of, you know, all my other experience and things as well. So I'm going to in early in the next new year, when I've got some time, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to probably start out that side of what I really want to do, which again is about helping other mums and business owners out there, and especially in the handmade space, about kind of, you know, how they can maybe do what I've done.
That's really exciting. And that's like, you know, that just sounds so aligned for you. And I'm sure that there's some people listening getting excited about the prospect of learning from you as a mentor. Oh my goodness, what a treat. Like, what a gift to be able to share with other, you know, handmade businesses who start, you know, on their kitchen bench, which is where you started.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I can't even think about. Yep.
Yeah, the potential is incredible, and I'm really excited for you. What's something, just to wrap up, what's something that your customers might not know about you? Bit of a fun question to finish.
Oh, wow.
Especially on the topic of Mel.
I know, right? I'm a farm girl through and through. So I'm born and bred southwestern Queenslander.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So all of my, so I grew up on a farm pretty much, and even went to boarding school. So I feel like I've been away from my family for a very long time, and certainly just a phone call is what I need, and we talk every day. But I mean, everyone thinks that I'm a city girl through and through now, but 15 years in Melbourne, but before that, very much had my fair share of, growing up on a farm in the paddock with the horses and milking cows and chooks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that one.
Yeah.
And just also, this is sort of like, I guess, on the topic of where you're headed next year, which is very exciting. Like, what would be something that you would tell somebody who was, in those very early stages with a big dream, like a lady who's got a couple of young kids at home, she's got this massive, crazy idea, she's scared to share it. What would you tell her?
Look, I think that, and I think the first thing is really just about, backing yourself. And to be able to back yourself, you need to think about like where you're going with it, right? Like what is, it's such a, but like what is the strategy? And what do you want to get out of it? Because, not everybody out there wants to make a big global business. I mean, I sure as hell want to, but that's the dream,
Yes.
Some dream is to, be able to make a good enough product that you can have a market stall every weekend and really successfully be able to, have this amount of money every month. So I think where I always start with this sort of thing is, what is your dream? What does it look like? And how then are you going to get there? Because at the end of the day, you don't need to have multiple warehouses all around the world. You might just, it's kind of, it's sizes compare it to what you need to do. So, I mean, I always like to think of, exactly what are you trying to do and what's the best way there for you. And then once you have that in your mind, you know what? It's really easy to back yourself because you know where you're trying to go. I think at the start I was so scared because, I'm a corporate and I was scared I was going to be the Play-Doh lady. And you know what? I don't care if I am, because I really quickly realized, my product was never, I've never sold at a market because that was never something I knew I could do with my family. I couldn't weekend. So at the very start, I was like, okay, I can't sell at markets because I can't drag my kids along. So how do I sell? What do I do? It has to be e-com, it has to be online, it has to be this, what worked for me. So once I kind of really was aware of that, I kind of just lent into it. And I think it's very much figure out where you want to go, then think about how you're going to get there, and then start giving yourself a bit of confidence. And if you can't do it for yourself, get the right people in your corner, whether they be family or a beautiful online community or social or whatever it is. I have just been fueled so much by the beautiful mums that are just constantly buying from me and supporting me. Instagram, I never actually realized how much that was like, a flame for me as well. So yeah, that was a really long-winded answer, but
I loved it. It's such good advice because, especially when you start a business, so many people tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. At the end of the day, you've got to do what's right for you or what feels right for you. I think that's such good advice. So thank you for that. And where can we find you? Tell us, you're big on Instagram, aren't you?
Yes, we are on Instagram. So you can find us at wilddough.co on Instagram. And from there you can link to all of our stuff. So we have from there we have just a website. If you go to www.wilddoughco.com, that will take you to either the USA or the Australian portion of our site, and you can get us anything from there. We're also stocked in probably a lot of your favorite toy stores that you can buy from online around Australia. So if you have a favorite place you always shop, go have a look. They might already be stocking us as well. But yeah, it's a pretty quick and easy click online to get us, and we send out daily, so we can always hopefully get into the hands of everyone pretty quickly as well. So
amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today, for spending this bit of time with me. I know that your time is very precious, so I'm very grateful. And yeah, look out world, look out for exciting things to come.
I know. No, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I was so chuffed to come and join you as well. I feel like we haven't chatted in a while, so this has been absolutely beautiful.
It has.
Yeah, still loving everything that you do. So
you're gorgeous.
Loving everything Wild Do, everything time I look at it. So yeah, so glad that we got the chance to work together.
Me too. Thanks so much, Mel. If you loved listening to this week's episode, pretty please click subscribe so that you don't miss any future podcasts. Also, if you have just a minute, please feel free to leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I'd so appreciate it, and it will help spread this message further. Thanks for being here. I'll catch you next week.